Okay, so get this, right? The market for servers, you know those things that power, like,
Yeah.
everything online.
hmm
Well, since 2020, it's, get this, more than doubled. More than doubled.
Wow, that is significant.
It is. And, it's hard to ignore. I mean, everybody's talking about it, right? Artificial intelligence, AI,
Oh yeah, it's everywhere you turn.
everywhere you turn. So, coincidence? I don't think so.
I think you're right. What's really interesting here is how closely that incredible growth in the server market is tied to this just massive demand for computing power.
Right.
The kind of power that you need if you're serious about AI development.
Yeah.
We're really seeing a fundamental shift. Like businesses are realizing, okay, this is the infrastructure we're going to need if we want to be competitive in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So for you, dear listener, think of this deep dive as your fast track, right? To understanding what's really fueling this whole tech boom. Right?
Yeah.
We're looking at some really, really sharp analysis specifically focused on the server market and how AI is reshaping it from the ground up. No jargon, we promise.
Absolutely.
Straight to the point.
We'll make sure you're not drowning in technical terms.
Right. The main source we're diving into today, it's a really interesting report on server market trends. A lot of the key data comes from an IDC report. Really great stuff.
Yeah, they do some excellent work. And, right off the bat, one of the things that just jumps out at you is the sheer amount of money we're talking about. 2024 alone, record spending on servers, $235.7 billion.
Wow.
That's not just a little bump. That's the highest level of investment in this area we've seen in 15 years.
15 years? Wow.
Yeah. I think it really highlights how quickly things are changing and just the sheer scale of this transformation that's happening.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
That really is the right word.
I think so.
And here's where it gets, I think, super interesting. More than half of that huge number, right, that $235.7 billion in 2024, that was specifically for servers with GPUs built in.
Oh, wow.
That's more than half. And that segment, those servers with GPUs built in, they saw a 193% growth year over year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it tells you AI, it's not on the horizon, it's here.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs a lot of power, processing power.
Absolutely. And I think what this points to is that we're not just buying more servers, right?
Right.
It's about servers that can handle these very specific needs, this processing power that today's AI demands, these complex models. They need something serious to run on.
Yeah. And when you talk about GPUs, the thing that comes to mind, right, I mean, the big name is NVIDIA.
NVIDIA.
Right. They are dominating. They had over 90% of all the built-in GPU shipments in Q4 of 2024.
Yeah, they're really, really the leaders in this space.
And the report, it mentions, all the big server vendors, Dell Technologies, Supermicro, those are the top two. And then you got HPE, IE IT Systems, Lenovo,
Right.
ODM Direct. But, honestly, the story here, it's the GPU. And specifically, it's NVIDIA.
It is.
Right. And I mean, you think about that, they have such a huge portion of the market. It makes you think, how much influence do they have over the future of AI hardware? Could they be the ones kind of setting the pace?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that's a really important point to think about, right? Because it's not just about the servers themselves. It's about who's providing the core technology that those servers are built around.
Exactly.
And NVIDIA, they're in a very powerful position to really influence the direction of AI hardware innovation. And that could potentially affect, the whole field, how quickly things develop.
It's, for someone like me, I look at that and I think, well, is that good or bad? I don't know.
It's an interesting question, right? It's a double-edged sword, maybe. On one hand, you have this incredible concentration of expertise and resources. They can really push the boundaries of what's possible.
Right.
But on the other hand, less competition, that can sometimes stifle innovation. It can lead to higher prices, maybe slower progress in some areas.
Yeah. It's something to keep an eye on for sure.
It is, for sure.
Okay, so we got record spending. It's mostly going towards these GPU-powered servers, thanks in no small part to NVIDIA. But there's another big shift happening, kind of a foundational change that the report highlights, which is the move away from the traditional x86 server architecture.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
If you look at the growth rates in the last quarter of 2024, it's stark. X86 servers, they grew about 60% in terms of revenue.
Okay.
But non-x86, they just exploded. 262% growth. That's massive, and it really tells you where the future of server architecture is going, especially when we're talking about AI. Essentially, these are just different ways of building the brains of the computer, the processors. And Increasingly, non-by-86 is looking like it's better suited for the unique demands of AI.
So what's driving that shift? It can't just be, people wanting something different for the sake of it, right?
No, there are some really concrete reasons for this change. One of the biggest is the growing demand for NVIDIA's Blackwell chips. These are some really high-end GPUs.
Yeah.
And they often need a different kind of server architecture underneath to really function at their best.
So it's kind of like the chip is dictating the architecture of the server itself.
In a way, yeah. It's like you need the right foundation to support these incredibly powerful components.
Right.
And then you've also got this geopolitical element that we can't ignore. China, the Chinese government, they're really pushing hard to support their own local tech companies like Huawei. And that's definitely contributing to the growth of the non-by-86 market.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how these national strategies can really influence the direction of technology globally.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it's kind of this mix of, needing the right architecture for this cutting edge AI stuff, and then these government initiatives kind of pushing things in a certain direction. And the report, it mentions ARM-based chips.
Yes.
What's their role in all of this non-by-86 growth?
So ARM, they're interesting because we're expecting to see them continue to grow significantly in the server market.
Okay.
And this is tied directly to, the demand for those Blackwell chips we were just talking about. A lot of them are built on ARM architecture. And ARM is also becoming popular for those integrated GPUs that are becoming more and more common.
I see.
ARM is really good at power efficiency, getting a lot of performance without using a ton of energy, and that's really valuable for certain types of AI tasks. And as these technologies get even better, more readily available, I think their impact on the server market is only going to grow.
So these really powerful servers with the built-in GPUs, it sounds like it's been the big players, the cloud providers, the hyperscalers, that have really been using them. But the report suggests that's going to change.
Right, it does.
That this stuff is going to become more accessible to your average business, right?
Exactly. Yeah, early on, it was really those huge companies, the ones with these massive AI projects that were adopting these GPU servers.
Right.
But the expectation is that in 2025, they're going to become much more widely available to, regular enterprises, companies that aren't, Google or Amazon.
Okay, so why is that? What's changing?
Well, part of it is just that the supply chains are getting better. Remember, there were those huge delays in getting GPUs.
Yeah, I remember that. You couldn't just, click buy now and have it show up the next day.
No, not at all. In early 2024, the wait times for some of these top-of-the-line GPUs could be as long as 36 weeks. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And that obviously limited how quickly companies could adopt this new technology. But the good news is that those big buyers, they've mostly built out their initial AI infrastructure.
Okay.
So that means there are more GPUs becoming available for other companies that want to get in on the AI game.
Makes sense.
And so, we're expecting to see companies investing pretty heavily in 2025 as these GPUs become easier to get.
That's great news for a lot of companies, I think.
It is, yeah.
But the report also suggests that maybe things will cool down a bit starting around 2026.
Right.
What's the thinking there? Why would that investment slow down?
So there are a couple of reasons for this potential slowdown. One is that companies are going to start fully using the infrastructure they've already bought, right?
Right. They got to put it to work.
Yeah. Exactly. That initial phase of building out your AI capabilities, that often involves a lot of spending up front, buying all this hardware. But once you have that foundation in place, the focus is going to shift to other parts of AI deployment, like running those trained models, what we call inference, or fine-tuning those models, making small adjustments to improve them. And those phases might not require buying a whole bunch of new, expensive hardware.
Right. Right. So it's not just about, using what they have, but also how the needs of AI itself might change over time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Like if the models themselves become more efficient, maybe they don't need as much raw processing power.
Exactly. And the other thing is, the report suggests that smaller companies, the ones that might not have as much money to throw around, they might start using more of those prepackaged AI cloud services.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than building out their own in-house GPU server farms.
Right, because that can be really expensive.
It can be incredibly expensive. And so that shift towards the cloud, that would obviously reduce the demand for physical servers.
Right.
So, the overall expectation is that we're not going to see these crazy, crazy growth rates forever.
Right. It's kind of like a a natural progression.
It is, yeah. You have this initial boom of investment, and then things kind of level off a bit as companies figure out how to best use what they have and as the technology itself matures.
Makes sense. Now, one thing I found interesting is that the report talks about these advanced processors having a longer lifespan.
Yeah, that's an interesting trend.
It seems like the infrastructure refresh cycles are getting longer. Can you talk a little bit about why that might be?
Well, traditionally, companies might have upgraded their main processors every 3 years or so.
Okay.
But with these new chips, these advanced processors, they're so complex, they're so expensive that companies are starting to hold on to them longer.
Makes sense.
Maybe 4 years, maybe even 5 years. And that has some advantages. It means your investment lasts longer, you can get more value out of it, you can make gradual improvements to efficiency, and it makes those transitions between different computing environments a little bit smoother.
Right, so less disruption, less cost overall.
Exactly. It's a more strategic approach to technology investment.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But of course, it's not all smooth sailing. The report does mention some external factors that could throw a wrench in the works, specifically economic uncertainty.
Yeah, we can't forget about the bigger picture, right? The economy always plays a role. And one of the things they highlighted was the possibility of tariffs.
Right, like those that were, talked about during the Trump administration.
Exactly. And that introduces a lot of uncertainty. We're already seeing some downward revisions in GDP forecasts globally.
Yeah.
And if those tariffs were to be implemented, it could really slow down spending, especially in big markets like the Americas, the EU, parts of Asia. And the other thing is, tariffs often lead to higher prices.
Right.
Those costs get passed along, and eventually it's the end user that ends up paying more.
Yeah, it's a trickle-down effect.
It is.
So even though there's this strong demand for AI infrastructure, these bigger economic forces, they could really have an impact.
Absolutely. The report suggests that even if things get a little rocky economically, we might not see a huge drop in the demand for powerful computing.
Okay.
But what we might see is fewer servers being shipped overall.
Okay.
But those servers that are shipped, they might be even more powerful, more expensive. Or maybe the price of, a standard server configuration just goes up.
Right, so you get less bang for your buck.
Exactly. So it's this interesting situation where the push for powerful AI, it continues, but how quickly we get there, how much it costs, that could be influenced by these bigger economic factors.
Yeah, so it's not just about the technology itself, it's about everything that surrounds it.
It's a complex ecosystem.
It is. Okay, so to sum all this up for you, the listener, what we've seen is a huge, really remarkable surge in spending on servers. And that's largely driven by this need for AI infrastructure, especially servers with these powerful GPUs, where NVIDIA is really the king of the hill right now. We're also seeing this shift in the underlying architecture of servers, moving away from the traditional by86 towards these non-by86 designs. And that's partly driven by the needs of these advanced AI chips and partly, by things happening on the geopolitical stage.
Right.
Now, those powerful GPU servers, they are becoming more available to a wider range of businesses, which is great. But there's also a possibility that things slow down a bit in terms of investment as companies. They start to use what they have. And maybe some of the smaller companies opt for cloud services instead of building their own infrastructure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we can never forget about the economy. Those big, macroeconomic factors like potential tariffs, they can really change the game.
Absolutely. And I think, for you, the listener, understanding these trends, it's not just about keeping up with the latest tech news. It's about understanding how the world is changing, right?
Right.
Because this technology, it's going to have an impact on every industry. It's going to change how we live, how we work, everything.
So here's something to ponder, right?
Yep.
Given all this investment in AI, all this focus on building this powerful infrastructure, what are the things we haven't even thought of yet?
Right.
What unexpected applications, what big changes in society might come about as this technology matures and becomes more widely available? It's kind of exciting to think about, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a little daunting too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of unknowns.
A lot of unknowns, but a lot of potential.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.